Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 2 as Sardinia-Piedmont. In our last episode we finished taking some land from Sokoto down here in Africa, which was still left us at only rank 17th. We have dropped just temporarily outside of the ranks of secondary powers, which is not a big deal. Once we do a few more conquests and our military rank gets up when we raise some troops from this newly conquered land, we should be alright there. Should get back up into the secondary powers at least. Probably not quite in the area of getting up into great power just yet. We're at over 2% clergymen here in our most populous region, so we'll move our focus down to here. Since that will help with our literacy, which is not terrible, of course. Can probably go up to speed 4 here. Once we're done with mechanical production here, we can go into idealism, which became available, I think it was 1840, which of course we're just past. That will be the best choice for our research, and we're still pretty low on infamy despite our conquests, so we probably want to look towards our next conquest. Probably we're looking at taking Zanzibar, I think, from Oman. I'm not sure any of their other regions are really worth taking. They of course have Mogadishu up here, which is just a single little province, and I think the way that these regions are laid out, this is just one province that they have here as well, and there's 2 down here. So maybe this would be worth taking, but probably we'll just take the larger one. It's like 4 counties or 4 regions, whatever you have up here, which will give us a good base for colonization over here in the east as well. I guess it's probably a little inefficient to bring my troops all the way back home, but that's okay. Liberal agitation spreads. Like rats carrying contagious diseases, the preachers of modernity move effortlessly back and forth across our borders. Liberal agitation has spread to Novara from a neighboring province. We might want to send some troops here. So we're going to get more consciousness in Novara. Okay. Actually, we're taking attrition here. So let's not do that. The agitation dies down in Savona. Yeah, we can actually build 1 brigade down here in Africa, which is good. We'll do that. And our winery is looking okay. I think we'll probably build a glass factory here. We don't have coal in the province, but it will help out the winery. And we can afford it. If we can get our industrialization kick-started early, that's probably pretty good. We'll respect their beliefs. We're actually ranked 2nd in industrial power in the world right now, which is pretty good. Or wait, I always forget, is this ranking or score? That would be score. We're ranked 8th. Okay. Still pretty good. It is our highest category. France has entered an alliance with Switzerland. Probably means that Switzerland has been sphered by France. We can probably get an alliance with them as well. War between Ethiopia and Egypt. Okay. Let's see. Egypt is only at war with Ethiopia. I guess they lost some amount of their previous land to the Ottomans. Probably pretty weak at the moment. Ethiopia is another possibility for conquest other than Oman, but I think we'll go for Oman. It's probably easier to get to. So we have liberal insurrection in Aosta. So we can kill 10% of the North Italian craftsmen there. Just have them gain 3 consciousness. I guess we'll gain the consciousness. And I think we can probably just go ahead and start justifying our next war. We'll demand a concession for 5 infamy. If we get this extremely cheap, I might consider taking a second province from them, but there's probably better things we could spend our infamy on. Okay. Well, so much for that. We got detected almost immediately. But that's fine. In fact, I think there is a province up here that has somewhat better life rating. You are 15, 10. This one, 35. I think we'll be able to colonize this one immediately. Well, not now because we are not a secondary power, but once we become a secondary power again, we'll be able to colonize that because it has a higher life rating. A South Italian poet, disturbed by the lack of a South Italian national consciousness, has published a hymn to his native country. So we're going to have non-North Italian, non-accepted cultures in Sardinia gain consciousness, or have them gain militancy. I guess we'll let them gain some militancy. The Watch on Turin. Fast and true stands the guard in Turin, at least if a local poet is to be believed. These poets, so troublesome. So we can have all our pops become more liberal and gain militancy, or have liberal agitation in Sardinia. Which I think is going to be our choice. Okay, fiery sermon, so liberal agitation is removed from there. About halfway done with our war declaration, or justification rather. But it's going to take a little bit longer. We could start moving our troops down there, or we could just see if we can get France to take care of it for us. It is kind of a risk to do that. I think we'll go to state-controlled trade unions for our first reform here. France does have troops in the area, so they would probably be able to take care of it if we called them in. We have rebel factions organizing, which we might want to keep an eye on. All this liberal agitation. France could probably take care of it. The risk is that, well, there's a small risk that they won't give us our war goal, which I'm not too worried about. They will usually do it if you call in a great power and have them fight their war for you. You'll usually get your war goal. The risk, I guess, is that they would take some of the land for themselves as well, which means we would have to fight them when colonization rolls around. Not fight them as in go to war against them, just fight them for the colonies. Your liberal insurrection again in Cagliari. I guess we'll just have them gain more consciousness. And who did Portugal go to war with there? Oh, they're at war with Oman as well. Well, it's probably here. That's where they border. So we'll just have to hope they don't want Zanzibar, because I want it, basically. We'll gain some more consciousness, I suppose. Okay, so we lose liberal agitation in Nice, and we have our CB. Let's see here. I think we'll probably play it safe and just fight the war ourselves, but we probably won't need to bring down too many troops to do it. So We're going to take Zanzibar. It's only going to cost us 6 war score. France would come in if we joined them, or if we called them. So we may do that if it seems like it's necessary. Let's see. This is probably going to be enough. We may not even have to ever fight their army. So we got our factory throughput, and we want to get idealism now. Would have been a bit more efficient if we'd timed it to start researching that as soon as it was available, but not really a big deal. So this is being sieged by Portugal, as is Kilwa. Let's see if we can see what war goals they've added. That's ours, and they just want Lindy, which is basically these two that they have occupied. So let's hope they just peace out for that and don't take anything that I want. The Ottoman Empire expands. And another liberal insurrection in Sassari. So we'll negotiate again. And they are actually sieging some of this. And we lost our liberal agitation there. Okay, we don't have any of those factories yet, but nice to know. Let's hope we can make it without losing any ships here. France is gathering a lot of troops in this area. They'll probably take Madagascar. I think they usually do that. Jacobin uprising. Alessandria erupts into open rebellion, so everyone there gains 4 militancy. Ooh. We have Jacobin rebels. Okay. Nothing too serious, it looks like. We do have a reasonable amount of troops here that we can use to take care of this. I'll just put you on Hunt Rebels. I guess we can put our spending up somewhat. Probably don't need to go all the way up. And it looks like Portugal is pieced out for just Lindy, so that's fine. A crisis in the Ottoman Aegean Islands. Alright. And it's actually going to turn into a proper crisis. Okay. So Austria here and Russia on the Ottoman side. UK and France both looking to go in on Russia's side, and Prussia also going for Russia, so probably this is going to end up resolved peacefully in the Ottomans' favour, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, I think that's all of our rebels taken care of. At least for the moment. Parma fears we're coming, apparently. Probably unfounded. So France is in already. local chapter of the Chartist Society calling for a broadening of the voting franchise has and an end to landed voting rights has opened in Aosta. Okay, so we're going to get more liberal agitation there, I guess. Do still have Jacobins, okay. I guess we'll kill 1% of the pops there and have them gain militancy. Okay, we can now build machine parts, factories, and it improves our glass production output, which is good because we do have a glass factory now, of course. Springtime of Nations. The relative quiet of the early 19th century was broken with a crashing revelry in 1842, as liberal agitation erupted into open revolution across the continent. The monarchical Ancien Regime of Europe could only look on in horror and disgust as the hymns of the French Revolution could again be heard echoing from Europe's tumultuous streets, and students and youth again gathered under Republican tricolours, celebrating the ideals, dreams, and wishes of a young generation animated by the powerful message of human liberty. In economic, cultural, social, and national affairs, that was European liberalism. So, we lose liberal agitation, and we get the Springtime of Nations until 1843, for a year, basically, giving increased militancy. And any province that has liberal agitation, or at least 20% liberal or high consciousness, then liberals there will gain militancy. Okay. So we did gain a significant amount of militancy. We finished our first occupation here. We can dock our navy so that hopefully it doesn't die. Actually, we don't really need to dock it, I think, since we're not actually suffering any attrition. And we can blockade them as well at the same time. Okay, UK still not actually joining anyone. Spain is probably going to go in on Russia's side. And the Ottomans are improving relations with us. We are almost the same color as Oman, which makes it pretty difficult to see what we've actually sieged, but that's okay. So the crisis has ended in white peace. Just kind of what I was expecting. I guess we can... I don't really want to go to landed voting. I'd rather stay in absolute monarchy as long as possible so we don't have to have any elections. We'll just continue getting the trade union reforms. Okay, more morale. I guess we'll fund this luxury furniture factory. Why not? Does this actually make sense here? What orgios do we have? Gold and sulfur. So it doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. Okay, apparently we're suffering a hostile occupation. Wow. I'm kind of impressed, Oman. That's kind of a problem because we don't have any troops in the area or any ships that we can use to transport them across. I guess we could call in France and let them do it. I think that's going to be the easiest. So they've taken over leadership. We can't peace out ourselves anymore. And we do run the risk of France taking some land from them instead of us. Or even as well as us. But I think that's going to be okay. Temperance League for quite some time now. Our country has been dealing with increases in the consumption of alcohol, so we can get libertine culture, giving reduced farming and mining efficiency and lower prestige, or we can have Temperance League, which is pretty much just better, I think. So we'll enact that. It's probably enough to get us our ticking war score. Oh, France is demanding Omani Somaliland. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was afraid of. So that's this province up here. Which means we are going to have to compete with France in this area when it comes to colonization. But, you know, I guess we'll deal with that when it happens. Anyway, we're out of time for this episode, so we'll have to finish this war in the next one, so thanks for watching, and join me again then.